They make good money. They make, say 8K a month, but they could be making 80K a month. And the only thing that they aren't doing is running ads. And if you go in and just start running ads, they'll flip that switch and boom. But they don't want to front the cost because they're only making 8K.
Yeah.
And so they don't want to spend 5K on ads, or they don't even want to spend 2K on ads because they're only making 8. Right. So to spend 2K in a month on ads is like, it's a quarter of their income. So, to them, it doesn't make sense. But we come in and we're like, okay, yeah, let's go in, let's, spend 2K, sometimes even less. And then, they can give us the money back eventually, but we just take 15% of their return on ad spend. And so,
you know what I'm thinking, dude? With ads in general, by the way, okay, real quick. No, because I have a bunch of thoughts in my head about meta ads and stuff. Yeah. Like, I by no means, so I've ran meta ads before because I've done like drop shipping stores and shit like that. The thing is, dude, it's not easy, bro.
No, it's not.
Like, to convert and shit.
No, you got to be good at it.
You got to be good at it.
So and you got to stay in the game too.
Is that so?
Yeah, because it changes.
What does it mean to be good at it? I always wondered that.
So, ads have really changed over time. So, for example, Ty Lopez, right? When he got into the game, 10 years ago, and he was like, here in my garage with my Lambo, whatever, dude, right? He would run those ads, and bro, he would print because it was just it's that type of ad that worked really well. Now,
rolling? I said we just jump right into it.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, this conversation is a great way to get to start. And then we take a step back afterwards.
Yeah, so let's just keep it rolling, dude.
And so ads obviously have changed a lot. That was what was working then, but things continue to change, right? And then also the scope of where you're running ads. So meta ads is one place. If you're on Instagram, that's also a little bit of a different place because you can run story ads as well. YouTube is completely different. That's a completely different
game. Google ads, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But Google ads is also where you rank too. So you can pay, if you search now on Google, food near me, the top 3 things will be people that pay for their thing to be in the top 3.
And it'll say sponsored on it.
It'll say sponsored because they pay for it. And then on YouTube, the things that have been doing really well, at least in what I'm in the money making area. So there's a couple people that do really well. Charlie Morgan is one, but that's because his offer is a no-brainer. And literally it's funny because he has his YouTube videos and then you will go to his channel, watch a video, and one of his ads will pop up on his own channel.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
It's the funniest thing. So it's you'll click on a video and it'll just be him then trying to sell you on something. It's very funny, but his offer is a no-brainer, and that's why it is, because he works with agencies like mine or coaches, consultants, and he's I'll get you 15 paying clients in 60 days, and if I don't, you don't pay anything.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, so, it's what's that thing called? Risk-free guarantee?
Yeah, risk-free pretty much. Yeah. And it's a lot of the time, he doesn't even get the 15 paying clients, but he gets 8. And it's okay, people aren't even going to hassle him over it because it's 8 paying clients, and if they're paying you 2, 3, 4 grand a month, it's dude, it's, you just brought me in 20K, I'll pay you 5K, whatever, I don't care, because it's 20K is recurring revenue, and I'm now going to make $250,000 this year off that revenue.
Exactly.
So it's to pay you 20K, who cares?
Exactly, it's kind of like a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you know what, look, let's take a step back real quick. Ladies, gents, we appreciate you guys joining us for episode 30 of the Iconic Podcast. Today, joining Tony and I is our good friend, and he's actually taken on a lot of the work here at Iconic, Eric Campbell from GCR Media. So, dude, thanks a lot for joining us on the pod. I know we're going to have a bunch of great conversations. So, I think that one of the first things that we should do is I kind of want to hear, Eric, how did you get into this stuff? Because I remember you told me you started getting into the content game when you were even 15 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Eric, by the way, guys, he's 18 years old. He's legit. He's killing it. So, you got into the content game at 15 years old. And I know that you said you had several mentors and classes that you kind of put yourself through to kind of get you to where you are today. So just kind of run us through that whole thing, how it started for you.
Yeah, so when I was 15, I, like many people in the space, found a guy named Iman Gadzhi. This was kind of before he blew up, so he's very, very big in the space now. I mean, he's massive. He's massive.
Yeah.
This was before he blew up, kind of not long after COVID, so he had maybe 100-something K YouTube subscribers right before he kind of started taking YouTube seriously.
Right.
And I found him then, and just kind of got introduced to SMMA and what social media marketing is and stuff like that. And I remember watching the videos and kind of just taking notes on some stuff, but sitting there and I have no idea how to get into this. This is so far beyond anything I know how to do or even start. And at the time I was working a minimum wage job, was working in a bagel shop, and loved working there. I mean, it was good, but obviously wanted to do something. So I just started making content about stuff I enjoyed on YouTube. So I was making, finance videos, investing, how to open a Roth IRA, just the stuff that I was kind of already in.
Yeah.
And then from there, about a year after doing that, and I was doing a video a week, I was trying to do that. And it's hard.
It's a grind.
When you're doing all the editing and you're doing the production, the scripting, it's so much work.
It's a freaking grind.
Yeah. And so I was doing that just out of pure enjoyment because I just was trying to build something. And so flash forward a year, I maybe had 200 subscribers. I wasn't doing anything.
Right.
But I knew how to edit, and that was what I was okay. And then I saw this kid who was 15, and he had made $2,000 in a month editing for podcasts, just full long form, videos and clips and whatever. I was what the heck? This kid's younger than me, because at the time I'm now 16 and he was 15. I'm how is he making $2,000 a month and I'm making pennies?
Yeah.
What is he doing? And so I tell the story all the time because it's unheard of now, but I had reached out to 3 different podcasts, just saying, hey, can I edit for you? And one of them actually ended up being my first client, and he paid me like very little money because I didn't have any experience, but I just wanted to get some money
Right.
and being like, okay, like I can actually make money off of this.
Right.
So I went in and I made a couple $100 off of him, like a month, and then by the end of the year, I had like grown him out a decent bit. And
You saw like it worked.
yeah, it worked, and like I kept getting better too. So like I was running like tons of content for him to the point where like I was able to split test stuff a lot.
Oh,
and
nice.
so I could change the way that things were edited, the captions, transitions, all that type of stuff. And then once I started to change stuff around, basically what had happened was I figured it out. And so 6 months in, I was like, okay, like I probably got 1 million something views. And then at that point, I was like, great, I know what I'm doing. Let me raise my prices. Boom, lost all my clients because they couldn't afford me.
Right.
So I was like, all right. And then I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll get more clients. 6 months go by, I still had like no clients because I knew content, but I didn't know how to run a business and I didn't know how to sell people.
Right.
So it's like I had customer service experience from working at a bagel shop. I had content experience from making content and editing, but
The selling piece was kind of missing.
I had no experience in selling people. Like my offer was so basic. It was literally just like, oh, like let me edit for you. It was like there was no like guarantee. There was no actual ROI on it or anything.
Right.
So 6 months go by. Somewhere last year, I started to figure it out a bit, and then the real turning point was in December of last year, probably, where I had done my first like 4-figure month in like September of last year, October. I don't remember which month it was. And I was like, okay, like I'm figuring this out. Next month I did like half that, and I was like, okay, I'm not figuring this out.
Right.
I'm like, I'm like, oh
roller
my
coaster,
goodness,
yeah.
And then the next month I had actually left the bagel shop and I got into doing sales for a software company, just as like a sales rep. And so I got into that, and then in December I paid Atelli. I can't pronounce his last name because he's got a Hungarian last name.
What is it, Telly?
Where is he?
No, what is it, Telly?
Oh, he's a guy. His name-
Oh, Atelli's the guy.
yeah,
Okay,
Oh, that's his
makes
name.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
Apologies.
fair enough, okay.
So his name is Atelli, and he's like 16, and I think in January he did like 11, 12K revenue. And so with like a personal branding offer, and he reached out to me trying to sell me on personal branding. I was like, I don't care for this. I was like, he wants to charge me 3K. I'm like, no. I said,
Yeah, right.
not working. I said, but I want to pick your brain. So how much, do you want for you to coach me for like 3-4 hours on my offer, how to do this, whatever. So we ended up running like 3 hours of coaching calls. It was supposed to be 4, but after 3 hours, like fine. And I was like, okay, this is everything I need. And so
Yeah.
technically I still have like 1 hour of unused coaching time to this day that I paid for, but like it was just whatever.
Doesn't matter, yeah, what we need, yeah.
Exactly. So I got what I needed and I ran with it. And then after that, I fixed my offer, fixed like how I actually pitched things to people, and then I was actually starting to close clients. So January I did like a 3x on like everything I was making. So I was like,
And just so we're clear on the date, so you're talking January of this year?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
yeah. So like last year, like I was in the trenches. I don't want to say like in the trenches, but I was spending more time on it, and I
course.
just was trying to really figure it out. And then once I kind of figured out the offer side of things, then it was just like, okay, let's get a client. Okay, let's raise our prices. It just so happened around that same time too, I had gotten like really good results for 1 or 2 people.
Right.
Then it was just like, okay, this is working. Just kind of continues to grow.
You make a good point there real quick, because I want to dive into this, because I feel like when people are first starting an idea or a business, right, I think the lifeline of anything are going to be your clients, right? How did you know where to start prospecting or where to start kind of targeting, the people that make sense to work? Like, for example, he told me you cold email Nick, and he saw your
Yeah.
he saw your template, and he goes, dude, look great, and like we need this. And I told him it's all about timing. But what was kind of your strategy at that moment?
Yeah, so I got into it with podcasts. Merely like I wish there was a more fancy reason of like, oh, this, whatever. But like
Right,
I
right.
literally got into it because that's what I saw a 15-year-old kid doing, because he was doing it. I was
Yeah.
like, let me just try the same thing. And then my first client was a podcast, and I was just like, okay,
We'll stick
let
with
me
this.
run with this. And I got him through Instagram cold DMs. So I was like, let me just run with
That's
this.
it, right?
Right?
Just
Like
simple
just
DMs, yeah.
just like keep doing it, like volume
Yeah.
game. The hard part is with podcasting now is like there's only so many people that are actually like in the space like that I want to work with.
Right.
Like I think one of the first things I said to you was like, I don't want to just work with anybody. Like I want people who actually want to grow.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a part of it. And then also, like at the same time, when it comes to how we reach out to people, that's changed too on Instagram, because the platform changes and everybody like
Yeah.
I mean, I just
The
had
spam, right.
like, and I just had a kid earlier who like he's technically like a mentee of mine. I kind of mentor him,
Yeah.
and I had a call with him yesterday, and I was like, bro, I was like, just DM people random things. I was like, literally like the most random crap. I was like, if you see they have a Bugatti on their page, literally just be like, oh, I guess I can't ask you what color your Bugatti is. Like,
Yeah, just like anything.
just
Yeah.
random crap.
Right,
like,
right, right.
because if you're sending them, a paragraph of stuff,
You've
like,
seen
They're not gonna read it.
Nobody's
you've seen
gonna
my
read
crappy
it.
stuff.
yeah, like
I showed you how I reach out
yeah,
to
I know,
people.
and like Nick sent me his stuff to like guess you want to get on. I was like, it's just like it's too complicated. Like
Yeah.
this other guy, Nick, who we're probably gonna have on soon
Yeah.
for this, podcast. Literally all I sent him was a message saying, "Yo, you're in Jersey, right?" And he replied, "Yeah." And then I just kind of sparked the conversation from
That's
there.
it.
That's
So it's
awesome.
just like simple things. And this kid earlier who, who's my mentee, he DM'd this guy like the word coffee ? And I gave him that idea because my mentor William is the one who came up with that, and that's how he approached me. And I was like, this is so stupid. Like, what the heck? Like, and what he means is like a coffee chat, like just, can we have a chat sometime? But he DM'd this guy, I guess, who's got a couple thousand followers, like, oh, coffee ? And he just booked a call with him like 20 minutes ago.
That's awesome.
And he like this is his first book call in like weeks. And so I told him, I was like, dude, like this is exactly what I mean. Just send random things. So we just kind of continue to test things out. I have a guy who does my DMs now, and so he, I trained him and everything.
You know what, Eric? It's crazy though, because like you're actually doing it. Because from what I've seen today, like there's so many people that have just become what they call quote unquote clippers.
Yeah.
Just like clipping random pieces of content, whether it be from Aiden Ross or
Right,
you name
right.
it, like
Yeah.
Nelk Boys. But what you've like from what I've seen and what you're telling us that you've done is you've kind of transformed this into a business where not only do you help out with the clipping, but you're also doing things like helping out with the branding. You're helping to reach out with guests and things like that. So the package that you provide for anyone in the content game, like the value is there.
Yeah.
So I think that's like that's awesome what you're doing. And it's funny. I heard you guys mention before like about the spam DMs and all that stuff. Are you guys familiar, like real quick, with the dead internet theory?
Oh yeah,
No.
there's like nobody. Yeah.
What
there's
is
all
that?
fake
So
accounts.
it's a theory that pretty much refers to the fact that like now on the internet, and you could once I tell you this, you're probably gonna be like, oh shit, that's true. Like the bulk of the content that's being put out, people are even saying by within the next few years, it's gonna be 90% is all created by AI. And also the engagement is mostly these
AI or
bots and
bots,
spams
yeah.
and these bullshit accounts, because it's weird. Like sometimes I'll post a podcast episode, right? And there will be a comment under it, which is like a random Bible verse. And it's
Yeah.
like, how is that getting there? So
Or the comments that are like, oh, my life changed when I read this book.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
Dude, I see those everywhere.
Yeah.
Dude, the worst ones are the ones where like they tag a trader.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, dude, I just want to say
That's
I'm so
hilarious.
grateful for like Joanna Trader Forex.
Yeah.
And then, dude, it gets even more like sophisticated now. Then there's like 100 comments.
Oh, yeah,
under
they just
that
spam it.
comment.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, Joanna saved my life.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
bro.
And it's funny, like back in the day, I used to like respond to those questions because I didn't know how bullshit the engagement was.
Right.
It's honestly like it's shot, dude.
Dude, that's so freaking nuts. So, what are you, obviously you're starting to get a good grasp of the industry, right? You've been doing this now, it sounds like 2.5, 3 years, give or
Yeah,
take.
yeah.
You're kind of figuring out your learning curve. What do you think is going to be the future now for content in general? Like, what's kind of your outlook on it based on what you've been seeing?
So obviously the thing with podcasts is my intention was never to like get into podcasts for any specific reason. Right. Now that I've been in the space for like a year, 2 years plus, it's like, okay, I can see where it's going. And one of the first conversations I had with Nick when we sat down for dinner, however many months ago, was like, dude, podcasting is where media is now, right? And I think the space that I'm in is a great space to be in. There's not a lot of people that are in it. And to be in it, I think is a great positioning for the future, because when it comes to where content is going, I think clipping is obviously a huge part of it. Like I'm not sure if you're familiar with what WAP is, but like you could literally go on WAP and have you seen like Brez Scales or even like some of these guys that are like popping off all of a sudden?
Maybe like Ramosi.
Yeah, like I don't know if Ramosi runs on WAP because they have school, but like even Iman uses WAP. Like all these people that are big in the space, Brez Scales, TJR, the trader guy, just all these guys that are pretty big in the money making space online. They just use it, and what they do is they'll put like 30K up for grabs on WAP, which is like pennies to them, but to most people that's loads of money. And what they'll do is for every say 1,000 views you get, they'll pay you $1. Right? So if you get them 1 million views, they'll pay you $1,000. But for them, it's just incentivizing it because 30K is in 30 million views. If you get 30 million views, you're now pretty known on social media, right? Like
100%,
you're somebody.
Yeah.
And so for people like Brez, who, virtually speaking, I found him when he was at like maybe 120K followers only 6 months ago. He's at whatever it is now, 800K on Instagram. The only way he did that was he has like 6 clipping pages. And what he does is he has his, his WAP guys go in there, clip them. And then the things that perform well. So if on a fan page on Instagram, if a video gets 100K views, if he posts on his main thing, which has got 500,000 plus followers, it's gonna blow up. And so he just takes the things that perform best on each fan page, post them on his main page because he already knows that they're gonna do well, and then it just does even better because he has a following.
He has a following already.
That was-
It just kind of like boosts it.
That was like the similar strategy Andrew did.
I was gonna
feel
say,
like,
yeah.
like 3-4 years ago. That's the only reason I even knew about it.
Yep.
Exactly. So like it's that clipping model, but now it's more like even focused on I only want to distribute on my main thing, like the best stuff. I don't want to have to post a video and have to worry about it not getting 500,000 views.
Yeah.
Like I only want to post stuff that's going to get 500,000 views, and if it doesn't, I don't care. So like essentially that is the idea behind doing it like that. Now when it comes to podcasts, I just think it's a great space to be in because I mean, we can talk about last year and everything that happened with the election. Like Trump would not have won the election.
It
if he
wasn't
didn't
for
go
like
no,
Full
it's
Sail
not a shot.
on,
It's not a
Theo
shot.
Vaughn.
Exactly. Like if he didn't go on the 40 plus podcasts he did in like
Rogan.
just day after day,
Rogan,
right?
Nelk, all that. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like if he didn't go on those, he just wouldn't have
Agreed.
won. And it's just because that is where I mean, you guys are a different generation than me, but like that is where millennials, Gen Z, and even younger people, like that is where they look
It's
to
true. It's
consume
very true.
media. Like I don't know the last time I've heard of like even a 20-year-old saying, "Oh yeah, this morning I was watching Fox News." Like
Nobody
no,
says that, no.
nobody
They're
says
all
that.
losing their ratings.
Exactly. Like, and I'm not gonna say they're gonna go out of business, but I mean, I think a lot of them are going to at some point. It's just like, where people watch things has completely changed.
Even like talk shows now, that used to be the podcast. Like
Yeah.
a Howard Stern.
Who just got canceled?
Stephen, he didn't get canceled.
Not canceled,
He
yeah.
got fired. But yeah, Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, I saw
He
that.
had a show for God knows how
many
long.
years, dude?
Probably
Damn.
20 years, give or
Yeah.
take. I would assume. But yeah, no, same thing. And like a lot of these talk shows are going
Yeah.
away. Conan was another guy who got off one of the major networks. I think he went with like I forgot who he's working for now.
But at
like,
that point, it's like go on other social platforms where you own even more of your content.
Well,
Great example.
that's what Tucker Carlson did.
Yeah,
Like, he
exactly.
got kicked off Fox, and then he was like, all right, I'm gonna just go do my own thing.
thing.
And
Which he's been killing it.
And exactly, like he's been doing really good numbers. He's making loads of money, and he's doing what he wants. It's independent journalism, and he can now he doesn't have to. I think that's honestly what it is now, though. Is like there are so many more independent journalists now because, especially in the last 10 years, because they're like, okay, I don't have to now be told what to say or what to do. Like I don't have a editor like or anybody. I don't have somebody above me, a manager, a boss, whomever,
Right.
who's telling me no, you can't publish that. No, I'm gonna publish whatever I want.
Right.
And now I can just I have Substack, I have Instagram, I have whatever. I mean Instagram maybe not so much, but
Right,
like
right.
I can just put stuff online, and if it's good enough, people are gonna buy it and people are gonna watch it, and that's really all it is now.
And I just seen people have just like eaten it up.
Oh, yeah.
Now I did just want to chime in real quick. Tony brought up a question about the future of the content space, the podcasting space, all that kind of stuff. I think that we might have had this conversation too. I feel like nowadays, what's the shift that we're seeing with content is like 2020, let's say 2020 and before that, it was people following influencers that they were interested in
Yeah.
and kind of keeping up with them.
Yeah.
Whereas now the algorithms, if you even want to call it that, have kind of switched to interest based. Like if you look at TikTok, if you're looking at videos,
Oh
like,
yeah, the recommended in YouTube.
that's what it's all about. And I think it was Gary Vee saying this, that follower accounts, and I actually highly agree with this, follower accounts are going to be a thing of the past.
Oh yeah, no one
Because at
cares.
the end of the day, people have used follower accounts to measure their dicks against one another. But in reality, it's like, it's a vanity metric. And when I talk with other people that are in the content game, I'm like, what really matters is views and watch hours.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't really give a shit if you have like 100,000 followers, but you're getting like 1,000 views on a video. It doesn't impress me.
Kind of going back to like the dead internet theory, like Nick and I, we've been like kind of looking at like different channels and all that, and it's so nuts how many pages you find now that have 3, 4, 500. You look at the most recent like short or the most recent long form content, it has like 150
Yeah,
views.
yeah, and by the way, I'm gonna like just like take this name out real quick, but like even like that kid.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were looking at his stuff, and like we were on his YouTube channel, and Tony and I were like this, bro. He has so many subscribers, but his videos get zero. Like the math is not mathing. And then we hit on most popular videos, and he had like 10 that went to like 60 million.
Dude,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like that's where his whole entire audience
Yeah.
must have came from.
And that's the thing. I was looking at him, and he had like 10 videos on IG too. I think he only kept the videos that did over 1 million on Instagram. Like I think
Makes
he just
sense, yeah.
archived the
Yeah.
rest of them. But like he was doing like mad views on like maybe 10 to 15, and that's where his 2.8 mil followers came. That and his mother, because his mother's been on social media for a while too. But like I mean that's really all it takes. And now it's like he's got a following, and once you have a following, it's just like send them somewhere, do something.
Yeah,
with them.
snowball that shit
Like
too.
just even if it's an email like list or whatever, that you just say, hey, like I had this product or whatever, like I'm an affiliate for them. Who cares? Like just do something, because if
Right.
you have followers and you're not doing anything with them, like it doesn't even matter the number of followers anymore. Because I'll bring up like, for example, William, right? He has a thing about having very few followers because he only wants followers that are actually going to engage with his stuff,
Right.
Or pay him money,
Pay him money,
essentially.
right,
Or
right.
either money or value,
Right.
Like if they are not providing some sort of value to him, he's like, get off my page.
What's the point?
Like I'll literally go in and remove you as a follower. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't want more than he doesn't want more than 89 followers is the number that he wants. And so like he'll have kids that like follow him. Like my mentee just followed him, and he's like, nah, get off my page. He's like, because at the
get
end of
it,
the
yeah,
day,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm here and you're here, and it's nothing against you. It's just like, I can't help you right now.
Right.
And you can't help me. Maybe at another point, maybe in 5 years, cool. But right now, that's not the scenario. So like,
Shout out William, dude. That's awesome, bro. He's killing it, legit.
no, he's doing good stuff.
Fill me in on this with this William guy, because I know I seen him on your story.
Yeah.
That's the only, and he sent you the steak and all that.
Yeah.
But he's your mentor, right?
Yeah, so I met William through A Players, which is a networking group primarily based in Europe. A Players is run by James Galligan, who is Iman Gadzhi's. I don't know if he was his top SDR, but like definitely
Yeah.
up there. Like he was doing like 15 booked calls a day. He was like I don't want to say appointment setter, but he was SDR.
Yeah, SDR,
and he,
yeah,
and he was
yeah.
booking like 15 calls a day. He was like banging out. He was making very good money. He left there, and then he opened up A Players as kind of like a networking group in in Europe. And if you go over there now and you go to especially Marbella in Spain, like dude,
Yeah.
they run that city. Like I mean, they have like probably 50 entrepreneurs there at all times, and like you can't go anywhere without running into one of them. Saying. Essentially
Right.
meeting one of them, because you go to the top places in the city. Like if you make money and you go there, like you're going to run into somebody that's in A Players or knows people that are,
Or,
because
yeah.
they just
They
have
just got stained
big
like that.
community.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're very well known, and they're well known in other areas too. Like I say Marbella because they also just had a mastermind there. But anyway, I joined through there. back in April, May. I'd known of James for a long, long time, but I joined there back in April or May, and then William came in May, and he just started like putting stuff in the chat. I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, like every day, like, there's being active and then there's being William, and he's like putting links in the chat every day, co-working calls and like whatever. I'm like, who is this guy?
And how many people are in there?
A players. So there's 2 levels. There's the academy, and I think there's about 120 guys in there. Those are people that are doing like less than 5K a month. And then there's a club, and I think there's 200 to 300 guys in there, and all those guys pretty much do like
Crazy numbers.
yeah. There's quite a good number of
Some
them
big
that do
players,
like
yeah.
6
Yeah.
figures plus a month. Like
Damn.
yeah, they
Just converting products on the back end, whatever it is.
not
right?
necessarily even just products. I mean like agency models. Like there's a guy, Joe Boyle, who Joe, you'll probably see my story, so you might watch this. But he does like I don't know how much he does, but last time I spoke with him, he did like he was doing 130K a month, and he runs an agency model. He does lead gen for pest control companies, and he just runs meta ads for them for his own business and for them, gets some leads, funnels them through, like, and he makes
Dude, lead gen is like a
Dude, it's
lead
nuts.
gen is massive. Like even
Yeah.
this one guy that like Frank Miller.
Yeah.
Wasn't Frank Miller like initially getting into the business? Like
Well,
for lead
that's what he was doing. He
generation?
was selling like CRMs, and he was helping like real estate companies also same exact thing, just to track new leads for
That's insane.
like all these real estate companies to essentially sell houses, sell contract, whatever it is,
Whatever it may be, yeah.
whatever it is. But it's just the data, right?
Yeah, even like real estate too, because I know a guy, John Danes,
Yeah.
who like James Galligan, the guy who runs A Players, is also very well connected with. John used to work for Iman too, but before he worked for Iman, he ran a agency when in the real estate space, and I've gone through his sales calls because I was part of his community
Right.
for a month or two, and it's so simple because you go to a realtor who wants to essentially sell more houses, and it's like, okay, we'll bring you leads. Like, and we'll
Right.
we'll charge you 10K, but you're gonna make 30K in the next 3 months, and if you don't, you
You're
know
good. You don't
you're
lose
good. Like
anything
you
else.
don't pay us.
Yeah, that's right.
So like, and but the other side of it is like, and this is why, I was mentioning before about the ads too. Like, that is why with this offer that John was doing for them, he was offering a service for 10K, and he would run the ads, but they still had to front the ad cost. So they still had to front the whatever was $40 a day for the ads, which is not much overall, but is an additional 500
It's an
coming out of
expense.
their, right.
Yeah.
It's coming out of their pocket every month, and so there is that. But I mean, he was making loads of money. I think he grew it to like 200K a month. He was like, okay, this is the cap. I don't know if he sold it or what he did with it. I remember when I joined his community, he literally was like, yeah, I'm starting a new agency, and then like a week later, he's like, yeah, it's like 20. We're at like 20K a month now.
That's crazy, dude.
Because it's just a copy paste model. Like when you're at John
Right.
Danes' level, like, and you built 4 agencies, 5 agencies to like 6 figures like a month, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
now it's just copy paste, just run the same
Same
model
formula,
and just in
that's
different
it.
niches.
That's
Different
crazy,
issues,
dude.
yeah.
And when I hear like things like this, it just makes me feel like with a lot of things in my life, I've just thought so small
Yeah.
because there really are like levels to this stuff.
Yeah. Even William too, like going back to him. So like I met him through A Players, and we got on a call, and because I was like, who is this guy? So we get on a call, and I remember I was not in a good mood when I got on that call. Completely like irrelevant to, I don't know what was going on, work,
Right,
something.
right.
And I never really showed that, but like he could definitely tell I was a little bit like, on edge. And we got chatting, and I remember later that day I had to drive to I think Philly or Newark Airport, I don't remember. And I remember as I'm driving there, I'm like, I don't know why, but I feel like I need to talk to him more. So the next day, I spent 3 hours on the phone with him because he replies to one of my stories, and we end up getting on the phone at like 10 p.m. my time. He's in South Africa, so it was like, whatever. He gets
Yeah,
up
yeah.
super early. And we just chatted, and then he was like, yeah, like, listen, he's like, I can help you if you want. He's like, I'm not even going to charge you because of A Players, because A Players code is you don't sell anybody anything. You just help each other out.
Right,
That's
right.
what it is. And so, we chatted, and
He's doing what? He's doing what? 5 figures, right? 5, 6 figures. William, your guy who's kind of mentoring you.
per month. He's
month.
gonna do 6 figures this month. Yeah.
So obnoxious.
And he's living in South
That's
Africa,
So
too.
fucking
And he's
crazy.
in South Africa, so like and 6 figures like GBP too, so Great British Pounds, which is like 1.4x
Yeah, it's a little bit more
multiple.
than
Yeah,
USD.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So like,
Fuck, okay.
it's stupid. So he lives in South Africa. He sells his stuff in GBP because he believes this is, I mean, value wise, it is the most valuable currency in the world
It
per
is,
se.
dude.
That's fucking
and,
brilliant, bro.
And it's like a 30x to South African rand. So like he'll make
Because
$1
$1 is
GBP.
like 20 rand. I think.
Right.
Yeah, $1 is like 20 rand, and then like it's close to like 28, like 30 rands, like a GBP. So
pound, yeah.
like he'll bring in, I think this month, I don't know, I'm not gonna say specific numbers, but I know his like target goal is definitely over 6 figures. And he just got into it like 3 months ago. So
Holy
like
crap.
he's a very private person overall.
Right,
Like,
of course.
guys, if you're watching this, if you try to follow him, I guarantee you he'll remove you
Right,
unless
right.
like you actually can provide some sort of value to him. But like he's very methodical. So like he's very
Yeah.
careful
Dude,
about the way he does things.
I love this conversation so much, and it's really good food for thought. Like talking about this group A Players, because I'm even thinking like what we're doing now, Tony and I with the show. Like we're honestly connecting with a lot of people that know a lot of shit and a lot of
Oh,
other
yeah.
people. So I feel like now, maybe not, but let's just say like 4 years down the line when we have like the most insane like stacked network. we could even do something to that effect. Like, what do you pay to join these kind of clubs, like A players?
So what I paid is less than what people pay now. So like when I joined the academy,
Right.
it was like 50 euros a month or something like that. So
Right.
it was like
Pretty
30
standard,
that's not
yeah.
bad. At
right.
all.
Like, and I joined back in like April. And I only joined the academy because I was like, it's a no-brainer, right? Like I just get access to this. And then
Yeah.
I'm technically not in a club, and the club has increased like 5-fold in price since when James was first trying to get me to join.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little iffy on joining, but like I know now, I think their price is like 9K a year. And so they have about
Okay.
like 200 people paying 9K a year, so do the math on that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean they're doing pretty good. And I mean like it's they like it sounds good, and it's like okay, like I'm selling access to a network or a club, and so it's like sure, like 100%
Right.
margins, whatever. It's not 100% margins because it's like James runs in a way where he does make good money, but like at the end of the day, he hosts events, he has masterminds, he has to get guests on to like be guest speakers in their network, and
Right.
because to provide value obviously to these people,
Yeah, yeah.
like all this stuff. It's like it's not easy. I mean, the Marbella mastermind that they just ran probably ran him like 6 figures probably.
Easily.
Of course, yeah.
Like I mean, they got a yacht, they had reservations
Everything,
at
right.
dinner, they had a
pretty
villa.
I'm pretty sure like Iman Ghazi just did something recently. I saw something and it was like some ridiculous number. It was like, where was it? I want to say like they rented out like 4 seasons, and I think that he said it was like 25,000 a ticket.
I didn't keep up with that at all.
Yeah, it was,
Where this at?
something ridiculous.
Was
No,
that
but I not
Maybe
Iman. Iman's very private about like I don't want to say how much he spends, but like everybody knows he's a baller. So like he'll go spend whatever. One
Yeah.
guy who I will mention because he's popping on YouTube right now, this guy Luke Davis, who is in the crypto space, but he got started. I think he got started with trading. I don't really know how he got started, but he's in the crypto space now. He's like he has a crypto network of guys.
Yeah.
He sells access to it. I think the access to it is like 25K, and there's however many guys in there. And he travels a lot, but he just was in Monaco for F1, and I think they blew like the title of the YouTube video is "My $650,000 week in Monaco for F1" or some crap like that. And in like a day, it got like 1 million views, and he blew up. And he already had a decent following on
Yeah.
YouTube, but like I mean, now he's very big, and I've been following him for a while. But Luke Davis is one of those guys. He's in this club called Beyond Members Club, and I'm not gonna sit here and talk too much trash about them, but they definitely copy Iman Ghazi's strips to an extent. So
Yeah, same style.
Yeah, same style, same. I
Right.
mean, like Iman actually, I don't want to say he called them out. He didn't call them out by name, but in one of his videos on his vlog channel, he literally said like, "Dude, when you go to the same place as me, fly the same jets, book the same villas, stay in the same area, book the same helicopter to land on your area and right near you, film the same shots, wear the same clothes, go to the same places, go to the same
Yeah,
restaurants."
right.
Like
They're
all
biting him, they're
like,
biting him.
Right, like
Yeah.
come on, like at this point you're copying me. Like we've seen stuff where it's like, okay, we see something really cool online, Grant Cardone will go do something. I mean, maybe not him, but like he'll go do something and we're like, okay, cool, like let me take inspiration from that, put my own twist on, make it original.
Right.
But like doing the same exact things, it's just like, come on, why?
Yeah, it's like, and that's the problem today. A lot of people are just not like authentic or
Yeah.
original. You mentioned crypto. Crypto's been having like a crazy last few months. XRP's over $3. Ethereum's coming up on 4,000. Bitcoin's like 120,000. Like I wanted to pick your brain a little bit on crypto. Do you own any?
Yes, so I'm not gonna divulge too much of how much I own or anything, but I own only Bitcoin. So
Okay.
And question now, because you've obviously seen a lot of my old cringy crypto
Oh
shit.
yes, I have.
All right,
Yes, yes.
we got to dive a little bit into this. So firstly, give me your Bitcoin price prediction, 5 years and 10 years. We'll use this as a little bit of a time capsule.
Price prediction is hard. I'm not gonna say 5 years, 10 years because I honestly don't know. There's a lot of factors that could go into that. But I'm very confident it's gonna go to $1 million at some
Me as
point.
well,
Like
me as well.
I have no doubt. Especially by, I would say probably 2035 max. Like I
Yeah.
mean, you look at it year over year. I think it averages like 50% year over year. So if you look at that, like just
Yeah.
continually going up over time, it's like now if you look at it by this time next year, it'll be at 180K,
Yeah.
190K. So it's like you just continue to compound that, and in 10 years time, it's gonna be at $1 million.
You know what I'll tell you? Pardon me, Tone. I'm talking about like the whole crypto space and whatever. Like one thing that I tried in the past that I epically failed with, which I would genuinely like to try again, just because now I have a lot more know-how and I'm older. You live and you learn, as they say. But I would love to do like a private community with crypto. So there's this one Czech influencer, and this just kind of ties into what you were saying before about how subscriber accounts mean shit.
Yeah.
So he makes all stock market content on YouTube, and he has a private community that you can only join via Patreon.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's like €50 a month to join the community. But when you go on his Patreon page, you think I shit you not, it's like there's like anywhere from like 5 to 10,000
Oh, yeah, I'm
active.
sure.
And,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I'm
the thing
sure.
is, you can't bullshit that on Patreon. Like they
Yeah.
display
Yeah,
your numbers.
they'll-
And when I
yeah.
saw that, I'm like, it's ridiculous. And he only had like 60K subs on YouTube.
Yeah, and honestly, like that's one of the biggest things. It's like it's not necessarily so much about like numbers per se. It's also like how many people can you actually get engaged.
And what
because it's
space
like-
are you in?
And what space you're in. Too,
Are you making
because-
TikTok dance videos? Or are we talking about like
Yeah.
investment opportunities?
And with crypto as well, like there's so many. I'm very anti trading community, crypto community, and it's not that there aren't good ones. There are. It's just there's so many bad ones.
Yeah.
And the space gets a very bad rep overall because there's so many people that are obviously trying to scam
so
people.
scam,
rip
the
people
pump
off.
and dumps
Like
and all that.
to
Yeah.
have 5 to 10k
true, dude. Yeah.
active members, like you have to be providing value.
You have
and
to.
that like, and if you're not providing value, you're just gonna leave. So
They're
it's
gonna
like you
leave.
have to be doing something different, which he must be,
Yeah.
because no group really has. I mean, maybe not though, because 50 euros a month is right at that point where it's like it's not stupid money
Yeah.
to pay per month. It's like right, like I always say, if it's less than like 100 euro or like $100 a month, like it'll fly under the radar for most of the time on people's like credit card bills, whatever. Like they're not even
Yeah,
gonna.
the
Dude, that's literally a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, like if
That's
it's 50,
literally a thing.
exactly. It's like they're like, oh, who cares, whatever. It's just $50. But like if you think about that on a year, it's 600, and then if you multiply that by 50 people, what is that? That's 30K.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like right there, you're making 30K a year because 20 people don't care about spending, $50 a month.
Is that
on
not
you.
insane?
It's stupid.
Is that not
There's
insane?
so much money out there, man.
Now listen,
Yeah.
So much for-
one other thing I did want to ask you, Eric, on the topic of crypto, because this is something that a lot of people don't think about, which they should. Where are you keeping your crypto? Is it on exchange or you got it offline?
So I'm not gonna go too much detail on like where exactly I keep my crypto, but for anybody who has any more than a couple grand worth of Bitcoin, you want to keep it completely offline.
Yeah, I keep mine offline too.
Yeah, exactly. So like you want to keep it in a cold wallet. You want to keep it in a like cold either. You could have like a Ledger wallet.
That's
or
what I use,
whatever.
Ledger.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do that. I've actually moved away from that just because of the fact where if you through Ledger, right, when you have your Ledger, you have to go on your phone or your computer and go through their app to see how much Bitcoin you have.
And it is clunky, yeah.
It is clunky and it's whatever, and it can. At the end of the day, Ledger is a company and they're there to make money, right? Like they are not there to help you. They don't care about you.
Right.
So it's like if they want to say, "Oh, your Bitcoin is real," it may not be real. They could have taken your Bitcoin and sold it.
So in your mind then, what's the best place to keep your crypto?
So you need to keep your crypto on a completely like offline air gapped wallet. So if you look up like cold cards, like wherever, there's loads of cold wallets, not just cold cards. I mean, they're the most popular, but even there are versions like Ledger that are offline, where you can just keep them completely. And then you have your seed phrase, you keep it offline, and you essentially only use say like Watcher wallets online to then hook it up to. It's something I've only become more familiar with recently.
No, we're providing some real value here, some game.
And it's like that's what you have to do though, is because like Ledger and all these other companies too, even in the crypto space, like this is why I'm Bitcoin only, because like with a lot of these companies, they're there to make money, right? Like,
of course.
When it comes to Ledger, they could be telling you that you have X amount of Bitcoin on your wallet. They could have taken it, sold it, and then you don't even know. And so when you go to take your
It's just
Bitcoin
numbers
out,
on a screen
right? It's just
sometimes.
numbers on a screen.
Yeah.
And there's like they could be faking that. Like they're a company. They don't, and like again,
That's so fucked.
like it's so
really is.
stupid, but it's like they could be doing that, and you
Yeah.
have no way to know. Like you are not in the world of Bitcoin, they use the word sovereign individual. Like you are not a sovereign individual if you have your money on Ledger, because they could just take it and do whatever they
There's
want
no
with
compliance.
it. Right?
Any of
There's
these
no
guys-
compliance. Like there is no regulations either. So it's like you need to be very careful about like where you keep it, what you do with it, all that type of stuff. The other thing too, and I think I mentioned this too because I've just been doing way more research on it recently. Like, and I already knew this, and this is why I'm Bitcoin only. But for all these people out here, they're like, "Oh yeah, XRP is gonna go to $1,000.
It's so ridiculous.
Ethereum's gonna go to 10K, whatever."
Yeah.
It's like
Well, Ethereum to 10K wouldn't be too unrealistic.
it wouldn't be too crazy, but
But XRP to $1,000 is saying that it would be like 500 times the market cap of Bitcoin, which
Not-
is like
I know.
yeah.
something ridiculous.
and it's not even that. It's just like XRP at the end of the day, like in a lot of these other coins, they're made by companies.
Yeah.
And guess who owns the majority of them? The companies. So XRP, I did more research on this not that long ago because I know some people in my life who are like, oh,
Like
XR,
diehard?
XRP is gonna go to $50. It's gonna go to $60. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, okay. And so I did more research on like, okay, why is XRP like not worth it, right? Like, why I know it's not, but how do I put this in a way that like I can
Makes sense,
communicate it?
yeah.
Okay, here's a simple breakdown. So XRP was created by a company called Ripple.
Yeah.
Ripple's obviously a company; they want to make money.
Yep.
So when they created XRP, they created 100 billion to be out there on,
The supply.
essentially that's the, cap of the supply. Similar to
Yeah.
how Bitcoin is only 21 million, that's the supply for XRP. What they don't tell you is that more than half of that is owned by Ripple.
Oh, wow.
So if the price goes up, guess who makes the most money? Them.
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
start selling
Right.
off coins.
They just sell off coins and do whatever. It's like they're going to make the most money. So when you talk about decentralization, being away from centralization, like XRP is the farthest thing from it. So if your goal is to become decentralized, like if you want to make money, fine, whatever. But if you want to become decentralized, not have to rely on the US dollar, not have to rely on people telling you that you have to do this, that with your money, XRP is not the place to
Not
be
the
because
product, yeah.
No.
Ripple owns half of it. It's
Like
a
they're
company.
issuing stock,
right? They're
basically.
issuing stock, and like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there is no real value to it because the value is propped up by the company owning half of it. So if the company decides to sell all of it tomorrow,
tank.
or they decide to want to buy all of it, like there's no
Yeah.
there's no base value at the end of the day. And
Right.
like people, in the comments are gonna be like, oh well, Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, he owns whatever amount of Bitcoin. Yeah, sure, he owns Bitcoin, but he doesn't own 11 million Bitcoin. He owns maybe like I don't know how much he owns, but it's not 11 million. He doesn't own half the supply. He owns like 1%.
And the beauty thing is like you could actually check that online, like how many
Yeah.
holdings are per wallet, and see where it's being moved, like when and where. But Eric, I'll tell you what. Again, not to sound like a broken record, you've seen like the hundreds of cringy crypto videos
Oh,
that
yeah.
I've made.
Yeah, those are
Here's-
just pump and dumps, yeah.
Here's the thing. Exactly. They were all no. Because here's the thing. He's right. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah, no, it's
you
just
live
funny
and you learn. A lot of
because-
those projects that I
Yeah.
spoke about, they're like fucking gone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like now when I look at crypto and I talk to people about crypto, I'm like
Yeah.
this. Yo, if you want to get into crypto, buy Bitcoin.
Yeah,
He was
that's
just
it.
talking about Ethereum the other day. Like he sent me a text like, yo, have you seen ETH? It's pumping. I'm like, look, ETH's pumping, but here's the thing. I've transacted on ETH 1,000 times.
Yeah.
If you want to send someone on Ethereum $20, they're gonna be like this. All right, you got to pay an $80 transaction fee. This is
Yeah.
a gas fee. It's fucking broken. And they said
Yeah.
with it, the Ethereum 2 upgrade that was
That
gonna
was
be a
going
thing
to
in
go
the past.
away. It was not going to be a thing.
It never
None
changed.
of that happened.
It never changed. It's broken. So
Yeah.
and then you have other projects like Solana that just constantly has outages. So when I look at crypto now, my new like point of view is just like, dude, buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like, obviously James.
Yeah.
He showed us his crypto. He's Bitcoin
Bitcoin only.
Yeah. Bitcoin
Yeah.
only. So I feel like now the Bitcoin maxis are winning.
Yeah, and that's honestly what it is at the end of the day. It's like I had Ethereum. That was the first coin I ever really bought. I got into crypto at the end of 2021, so right at the peak of the market. So I wrote it down, and I lost quite a bit of money in Ethereum. And then when Ethereum, I held it, though, because I was like, Ethereum 2.0, it's going to be better, whatever.
Same.
Came out, nothing happened. I was like, this is nonsense. I'm selling it, I'm buying Bitcoin. And so right when like Bitcoin is probably at like 20 to 30K, that was when I started buying Bitcoin. And I was like,
amazing.
okay, like just take this money I lost from Ethereum. I'm down however much percent, but just throw in a Bitcoin and just keep dollar cost averaging it over time. And that's what you just got to do. And even like, the pump and dumps, I don't really care for them. Like you can sure make money in it, but again, it's gambling.
It's gambling.
It's
Yeah,
gambling.
it's modern
You put money
gambling.
into it, like who cares? And Solana, I think I have traded Solana a little bit, but it's really just because like Solana is the literally essentially it's the network that allows you to trade pump and dump coins.
Yeah.
So it's like
Right.
without
Like
that,
isn't that Snake Coin on there? You ever seen that one?
I have no idea.
It's literally
but,
like the 30th
yeah.
version of Dogecoin, like
Yeah,
Snake
yeah.
Coin or
There's,
something.
there's,
Dude,
there's so
there's
many
like
random
Pepe
things. Yeah,
coin,
Pepe, bro.
coin.
Like freaking Togi made like 2 mil off Pepe like overnight. He was
That's
like
ridiculous.
blackout drunk and he put like a mil into like 1.5 mil into Pepe and it blew up like 75% overnight. His
Oh,
Coinbase
yeah,
listed
Togi,
it.
yeah, he's freaking
Dude,
crazy.
and he woke up the next day. He's like, I just made like 800K overnight. I have like 2.5 million. It's so stupid, but it's a gamble.
Well, you know what,
Yeah.
Eric, real quick. This is like the last point I want to make on the crypto stuff because I did want to actually pick your brain on this massive UFC event that just went down. But I did want to say, just to play the flip side of the XRP argument, saying that it won't ever go to like $50, $100, whatever. Firstly, I agree with you, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's impossible until it's not.
Yeah.
Meaning, when I first got into the crypto space, someone told me about Dogecoin when it was like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction
Oh,
of a
yeah,
fraction
yeah,
of a penny.
yeah.
And he was telling me at the time, it was around 2020. He's like, if this even goes up to 2 cents and you put $100 in, it's like you hit the lottery. He's like,
Yeah.
if it goes to 2 cents, he's like, but it's never gonna happen. I never actually held any. Dude, it went to 70 cents.
Yeah.
If I put $100 in at that point, it would have been the equivalent of me hitting like the $1 billion lottery.
Yeah.
What, being that it went up to like 70 cents
Right.
out once
Yeah.
Elon jumped on board and shit.
It's the same thing with all the stocks too. It's Apple, it's Nvidia. It's like and my uncle, who's the one who got me into trading a lot of this, one of the things he always said is like woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's like
Yep.
if you
That's exactly what I was
if
thinking.
I only knew, if I only had the insider
like
knowledge.
Monday-
Be like a Monday morning quarterback.
Right, like if only I wasn't 4 years old in 2009 and I could have put all my like life
Yeah.
like into Bitcoin,
Yeah, guys.
ought I be this
Yeah.
wealthy? Like it's just you never know. And
Yeah, you can't look at it like that. You,
Right.
you guys ever seen that photo when it's like there's like a baby and he's like sleeping in a crib
Yeah.
and it's like this. Me in 1997 instead of buying
Buying a
real
house.
estate.
Yeah.
instead of buying real estate, yeah. So
Dude, it's one thing I do want to get your outlook as we're wrapping this conversation up. What were your thoughts on NFT when they first came out? Because that was fucking insane, that market, for like that good year it was.
It was a fad. It was a fad.
It was a fad, and I kind of knew it
The
was
Bored
too
Apes
because
too, I was like,
Look, what was interesting was when people
Yeah.
like Logan Paul tried to drive value to their NFTs.
Yeah.
Like he'd be like,
Gary V too.
yeah, like they would be saying like, oh, listen, if you own NFT number 500, you have the opportunity to be a guest on Impulsive. Like when something like that comes to light, then you can kind of see the benefit to it. Or you'll get 1% of my next fight purchase.
Well,
Fight
Ty
purse,
tried to do that with the with his membership thing.
Yeah.
His membership card, like, if you buy
you say
this.
Kyle?
No, Ty Lopez.
Because Full Send, they made their own like NFT cards. Whatever.
yeah, I mean the whole thing is just like I saw that happening right around the time I found Iman and I was kind of getting in the space too. Like
Yeah.
he bought like 3 Bored Apes, lost however much money on him. Like he just bought him because he thought like okay this is stupid.
Dude, for a JPEG.
yeah, I know
for a
for
JPEG,
a JPEG. It's just like
It's
you know
so
what
dumb.
like Iman can spend 1.3 mil on a Bored Ape and Outblink an eye, but it's like what actually is more concerning is the people like Gary Vee who are like, oh, NFTs, they're gonna be the next big thing, it's gonna be the next Apple stock, you gotta buy it, whatever. And then it's like people put their life savings into it and then they lose it all, and it's like
all
at
of
the
it.
same time, like, okay, you're probably actually retarded if you put all your money into a JPEG, but at the same time it's like people are gullible and they're gonna do whatever.
They wanna
and-
jump on the next thing.
right? And they're gonna jump on the next thing. It's just like You know, there's so if it's not NFTs, it's gonna be something else. It's gonna be whatever meme coin it is. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something.
You guys
Like,
remember the
It's gonna
Haktua
be-
coin?
yeah, exactly. Like it's gonna be something. Like they're gonna put
Yeah,
their,
Tony had a lot of those coins.
Dude,
Yeah.
you couldn't even get them. They freaking released them. I don't know how the hell you.
Yeah, the thing is, and this was
Yeah.
actually what happened when Dogecoin, when Elon bought Twitter, I had Dogecoin, and I didn't have a lot, maybe like $100, but I mean, it went up enough, and I was like, oh, let me sell it, and I remember I had it offline, and I remember telling my father at the time because I was
Yeah.
like 16, I was like, can you move my Dogecoin to Coinbase so I can sell it? And he told me like 2 days later, he's like, no, I can't do it. I'm like, why? He's like, because the Dogecoin servers on Coinbase are down. He's like, there's too
Oh,
many.
I
There's,
heard
there's
about
too
that.
many people that are selling.
Yeah.
He's like, literally, Coinbase will not allow you to add Dogecoin from another wallet because the liquidity on it right now, like there are so many people selling. He's like, they literally cannot keep up with the amount of people that are selling because it just has gone up like so much. Like when it went from like 2 cents to like, you know,
It was when it
17
went up to, like,
cents.
17, 20
yeah,
cents.
it's
Yeah,
17,
yeah.
20 cents, whatever. And I remember looking, I was like, all right, I made a little bit of money. And then by the time I could even get it there, it had come back down. I was like, all right, whatever, just sell it. I made a little bit of money, and I was like, this is stupid, whatever. So like, I mean, that's the thing with all those coins. So,
Yep.
yeah.
So stick to the basics, right? I think that's my takeaway here with you. Stick to the basics for crypto.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't try to
Yeah.
get fancy. Just see fancy coins.
Just dollar cost average Bitcoin. That's
That's
it.
it.
I think that that's kind of the strategy that I'm just going to kind of implement going forward
Yeah.
because Bitcoin's legit digital gold. And we had this conversation with James. It's like, it doesn't matter if it goes up or down, whatever. Just buy it like on a weekly, monthly basis,
Yeah.
whatever. And if Bitcoin does drop to 70K, look at it as a blessing in disguise and just kind of like add to
Keep
your
buying
bag.
more, yeah.
Add to your bag.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, and that's the thing too. Is like people. I have a friend. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna
Shout him out,
I'm
shout
gonna
him
blast
out,
him.
yeah.
I'm gonna put him on blast right now. Brandon, you know who you are, bro. You know who you are. And I've been telling you for over a year buy Bitcoin. And every single time I tell you to buy Bitcoin, you're like, no, I'm gonna wait till it goes back down. It doesn't go back down. And now you text me the other day saying, Eric, you were right. It's 120K. I'm gonna wait till it goes back down to 100. I'm like, are you actually retarded,
Like,
bro?
don't be that
Like,
guy.
like,
Don't be that guy.
Bro, just buy it. I said just dollar cost average it because by the time it's gonna come back down to 100, it would have already gone to 150. So just buy the coin. Stop telling me you're gonna wait, whatever. Just buy it, bro. And I mean, because there's so many people that are like that. I was like, I'm gonna time the market. No, just buy it repeatedly over a long enough period of time, and you'll make money.
Yep. You'll little by little accumulate a bag.
Exactly.
So, yo, speaking about bags, Poirier and Holloway just had one of the craziest fights ever.
Yeah. I mean, we were texting back and forth about that during the fight.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. In my opinion, the result was fair, but
Yeah, Holloway dominated the hell out of that fight. Yeah.
he dominated the hell out of that fight, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you think's gonna happen next with Holloway? Who do you think's gonna be the next best fight for him?
So I saw the top comment because it was actually a UFC post. It was like, who's Holloway going to face next?
Yeah.
Should it be Ilya? Should it be Charles? Should it be somebody else? And the top comment, which had like 30K likes on it, was like Ilya versus Arman, Charles versus Max, and Patty versus Justin Gaethje.
That would be crazy. Charles versus Max.
Dude,
Yeah.
Justin versus Patty, that would be a freaking.
But that's what everybody's saying
Yeah.
because everybody's like, oh, Ilya should fight Patty. Ilya
he
should
still
fight
needs to prove
whatever.
himself. I
right?
feel like
you-
getting Charles, like, come on.
But like Patty's record, I mean, he's fought who? Michael Chandler. All right, he's washed.
He's washed,
King
yeah.
Green washed.
Was he-
Washed.
was he washed?
Tony Ferguson washed.
Washed, yeah.
Yeah, like King Green isn't bad, but like he's 15th in the lightweight. I think he's actually out of the top 15 at this point.
Okay,
so it's
so
like
he's whitewashed.
he's not.
And Armand should have gotten that fight already, but he was supposed to fight Islam, but he got injured. Like, messed up his neck.
Yeah, pulled out the day before.
Yeah,
What's
And
going
so-
on with Islam? Is he on any cards coming up?
Yeah, he's fighting. Well, I don't know because they just released 2 new cards yesterday,
Yep.
and so we got DDP versus Hamza coming up, and that
Yep.
will be a good fight.
That's
And
gonna
then
be a war.
Yeah, no,
That's
it
gonna be a
really
good
is.
fucker. That's gonna be a great
William, who's South African, he's telling me he's like, DDP's gonna win. I'm like, I don't know, man.
I think
Dude,
Hamza's gonna
Hamza
win.
just.
I'm
Hamza's
just
so-
like, bro.
To be fair though, I think Usman would have beaten him if it was a 5-round fight. When they fought, like I think a year and a half ago, when Usman came in on the 8-day notice,
Yeah.
I think he would have beaten him.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
He was
that.
looking too good like the last 2 rounds. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't know to be honest with you, but little side note, I think we're actually gonna get DDP on William's podcast. He just started.
No way.
No way.
Yeah, I think he knows people who know people that are in his circle, but
Then again, he's based out there, right?
yeah, DDP is South African, so like
That's
William
insane.
William doesn't watch UFC, but he knows DDP. He's like, yeah, he's gonna win, and I was like, okay, buddy, like
That'd be
relax.
fucking
So
crazy.
there's that fight,
Okay.
and then everybody was commenting this because August 16th is the fight. The next PPV is in like main card is in October 4th. So there's like a 5 weeks. And everybody was like, huh, Dana announcing 2 events, thinking that nobody would realize that there's 5 weeks in between, like, PPV cards. And then after that is Pereira and
Ankalev.
Ankalev. I don't like
Yeah.
that guy, but regardless, he's just boring to
Dude,
watch.
bro,
It's just boring.
You saw that fight.
Yeah,
it was
it's
us
just
cage
boring.
grappling
Yeah.
the entire 5
Yeah,
rounds.
I mean, like, listen, I have nothing against like Dagestani fighters, whatever. Like,
Right.
if you're talking about Islam, like he's probably one of the most entertaining fighters to watch right now. But like, when you're Ankalaev and you just want to like, literally not even wrestle, but like like clinch half the fight too, because like you don't even want to spar with them. It's like, or not spar, like box with them.
Like throw hands,
like
yeah.
throw, like you don't want to throw hands. You just want to try to get them to the ground. Like I get it, that's your thing, but like it's so boring.
To be fair, Pereira wasn't even that active either, so it kind of sucked.
Yeah,
both
no, I
guys.
know. Like
it was just, I don't know what was up with Pereira that night. Like he just didn't look like himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he wins the rematch though. I think he comes
Yeah.
back and gets taken. He
He's-
was fucking around too much in between the fights.
So are they gonna be on? So are they gonna be on the White House card? Any of these guys?
No, that's gonna be
No.
next year, I think. But I did think this was interesting. Was Tom Aspinall is fighting Ciryl Gane? That was announced too at the end of October, and I think that's well deserved. I think now that honestly, John Jones is retired or not retired. Who knows with that guy? I mean, the guy's I don't want to say he's a clown, but I mean he can do whatever he wants because he's
He's Johnny Bones. Yeah,
he's John Jones, and he's got the reputation. He's undefeated, as he says, and all this whatever. But like at the end of the day, I mean. He's pulling the same crap that only people like him, Conor McGregor, like only they can pull this crap. Only they can say I'm retired, and then 2 weeks later enter the drug testing pool again, like, and then say, oh, I want to fight. But I think Dana now is just like, you said you're retired. Figure out what you want, because you literally said you were gonna fight Aspinall. We were gonna give you a huge bag. We're gonna give you 30, mil plus, and then you want to just say no.
That's crazy.
I think they're all. You know what they're doing, and it all comes. It's
That's
kind of all
crazy.
Mayweather's fault. It's just the Mayweather playbook. He did that a billion times. Waited till they offered even more money.
Yeah.
And now with Tom Aspinall, I think fighting Ciryl Gane. I mean, dude, I feel bad for Tom Aspinall. There's no one left in the heavyweight division.
No, there's no one.
Anyone that's
he cleaned it
actually
out.
half decent. He already
Really?
beat Curtis Blades. He already beat. I'm pretty sure he beat
Volkov.
Stipe. He beat He's gonna beat Gane.
Yeah,
there's
and he beat Volkov too. Which
Volkov, yeah.
Volkov just beat Gane, so everybody was talking about, oh, Volkov deserves the title fight. Well,
No.
Tom Aspinall cleaned Volkov out in I think a round. So it's like, why even like do a rematch of that when you know who's gonna win? It's
Like,
just
there's-
a waste
like,
of time.
Just like and I don't want to go into this, but even like I feel bad for like even Usyk. He just freaking completely destroyed Dubois, and that's done. Like
Yeah.
you
The one
know,
the one
yeah.
thing which will be really interesting is, oh goodness, I had his name in my head. I can't remember his name.
Who is it?
But
Describe him.
he's in the bantamweight division. So Alexander Pantoja.
Pantoja, yeah. He just fought recently, yeah.
So he just fought, but then the number 13 guy in the division or whatever faced the number 1 guy on like 2 days notice. Bro, he
And won.
cleaned him out.
And he
Like
won.
knocked him out.
Yeah.
And then
That's why I love UFC.
dude, it was the craziest thing ever.
Dude,
like
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
it was like 2 days notice. He had fought 3 weeks prior at the last UFC main event. Like crazy. Came in, knocked him out, and then everybody was like, what the heck? Who is this kid?
Yep.
And oh gosh, I wish I could remember his name.
Joshua Vaughn.
Yeah. Joshua Vaughn.
Vaughn.
That's his name.
Yeah.
I knew his name started with a J. I'm like, who is this guy? Yeah, but he came in like 2 or 3 days notice, knocked him out. I think it was in the 3rd round, if I'm not mistaken. Everyone was like, what the heck just happened? Because I can't remember who was number 1, but I don't really pay attention to flyweight. But like everybody was like, oh, he's up for a title fight after he wins his fight, whatever. And now he's like, I don't know if he's number 13.
What
I
do
don't
they
think
wait?
he's number
What
13,
is
but
that weight, Tone? Flyweight.
Flyweight is 125.
125. Yeah.
That's
they're
ridiculous.
small, bro.
Dude,
They're
they're small, but like if you look at somebody like what's his name, Demetrius Johnson,
Shredded.
Oh yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
bro,
he's
he's-
like 5'3", but bro, he's all muscle.
and you watch him
fucking
and you
nuts.
watch him fight too. Like I don't know who it was he fought, but he fought. I don't know if it was like Eddie Hall or some big guy who was like 300
Yeah.
plus pounds. And bro, he made him tap in like
No way.
2 minutes. Like yeah, because it's just like
That's
you
wild.
put somebody, and same thing with like Dylan Dennis too, right? I'll mention him because I don't know if you saw my Instagram thing the other day that I sent you. He's supposed to fight Warren Spencer, who spars
I
with
saw
Andrew.
that.
Like
That's
so-
on a Misfit card, right?
Yeah. So
Misfit,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
first. It's
End
the
of the month,
first.
end of the month. Oh, no,
yeah.
August 30th, August
Yeah,
30th.
it's the first MMA fight for Misfits, and I don't really pay attention to them, but this is gonna be interesting because Warren Spencer trains with Andrew Tate, and he's done loads of content with Andrew Tate, and obviously we all knew Andrew Tate. You know,
Yeah.
he can fight, whatever. He was a former 4-time world champion.
Yep,
whatever.
Yeah, kickboxer. Yeah.
Exactly. And so like that'll be interesting because they have their fan base, but Dylan is in a very similar like fan base where like a lot of the guys who watch Dylan also watch Tate. And so
Agreed.
like Dylan's fan base though is very loyal. Like I remember I saw when they announced that and Dylan was like, yeah, go comment hate on Warren's thing. And dude, all the comments were like, oh, you know, effing this,
They got freaking
whatever.
soldiers
Like
over there.
dude, they was
That's
I mean
crazy, dude.
Dylan's fan base is so loyal. So like this is my honest prediction for that fight too. Like
Yeah.
Dylan's gonna win if it goes to the ground. Like Warren is by far probably a better boxer, at the end of the day. But that's what he does. Like and the same thing with Dylan. It's like you saw him box against Logan Paul. Obviously he can't box for his life. Like he sucks. Fine,
He's
whatever.
like a Ben Askren.
Right,
Ben Askren, same
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, with the Logan Paul stuff, like I'm gonna be really busy. He got rocked by Logan Paul.
Yeah.
He did,
I mean,
yeah.
like, but that's the thing at the end of the day. Is like you have people even in the UFC, right? Like how many times it could be actually like really throw hands with somebody?
Only
not
time
often.
ever was that
No,
one
not
shot he hit
often.
McGregor.
At
with.
McGregor,
Yeah,
like,
that was
but
it.
he really didn't throw hands with
No, he
anybody.
was a wrestler.
Right.
He was a wrestler.
Exactly, but he was, obviously he's not the GOAT, but people say he is and whatever. So it's like with that, and then also
You don't think he's the GOAT?
no, I don't care who's to go in MMA. I've been watching it long enough to really, in UFC. I
Right,
can't
it's
really
good,
tell
like,
you.
good sense of it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, I've been watching it for probably like 2 years, but I never watched people like George St. Pierre. I never watched people like people say Demetrius Johnson was.
Not to take inches off Khabib's dick, but like he just didn't defend.
No, he
if
didn't.
that makes sense. Like I kind of love his story. Like, he won his belt. He kind of just disappeared, but at the same time, it's like
Yeah, I mean, dude, he had like 29 fights with, let's be honest, he was very obscure in his career.
first
but
20 were
he was
trash.
undefeated.
Like,
he was
he was
undefeated,
fighting
so
like
that was a
scrubs,
big
you mean?
deal.
Yeah, I mean the first 20. I mean literally, I think like his 18th UFC fight was somebody against who was like 0-2. It's like
what do
why?
what do you call them? Tomato cans?
Tomato cans.
Yeah. And it's just like at the end of I saw his AI edited video earlier. It's obviously AI, but it looks pretty decent. Like it looked like Dana White was saying this, but it was like an AI edited video of Dana White saying, yeah, well, Khabib obviously ran because he's scared. He ran from Tony Ferguson because Tony Ferguson was on a 12-fight win streak, and then he ran away and he didn't want to
feel so bad
defend
what
the fight.
happened to the guy, though.
Dude, Tony Ferguson, honestly, man, he's so like. He should retire, and I've been saying that for 3 years. Like since he was like, oh, he's gonna fight Dylan Danis, oh, he's gonna do this, he's gonna. I'm like, dude, you just need to retire. Like
Dude,
I
he's
get,
done, man.
I get trying to go out on a win, but do what Dustin Poirier just did and go out on a loss because
Yeah.
you rather like honestly like put your all into the fight like Dustin did and just accept the fact that it's done because if Dustin goes into fight like he's like you saw Dustin,
Yeah.
I think he had one of his best showings ever when he fought Islam, and he went 5 rounds with Islam pretty much almost
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and nobody only Volk has ever
Yeah,
done
no
that.
one else really.
So like
Yeah.
and
And
you're-
Volk should have won that first fight. I feel
exactly. And so it's like, you know, when you look at stuff like that, it's like Dustin was still very, very good, but I think just against his fight with Holloway, like you could see him aging. You could
Yeah,
see like him
he's
starting to
done.
get
You're
there.
right, you're right.
He
Yeah.
can't be like a Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell was like the first ever UFC superstar. Towards the end of his career, his last fight just getting cleaned
Yeah.
out, man. Clean,
Oh,
just like
okay.
Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
Same exact shit with Tony Ferguson.
I mean,
he's on, like-
Same-
And
people
Tony
don't know- the
Tony
problem is
Ferguson fought hard.
fighters have that dog in them. They don't never want to stop. So
Yeah.
it's just, you know, sometimes they'll go out like an hour.
You're right.
Yeah.
Stay in the legacy.
And it's also probably the lifestyle, the money, all that.
Dude, all that. I mean, yeah, of course. Once you made it to the pinnacle, I mean, why else would you stop? Let me ask you this: who do you think has more aura, Ilia Topuria or Conor McGregor? Or you think right now they're even right now?
I think
Aura?
Aura, bro.
I don't know, man. I think Conor McGregor did what nobody else could for the UFC. I think he honestly is responsible for the UFC being what it is now. It's too early to tell on Ilya because I mean we all know what Conor did. You know, he beat Jose Aldo. He went
Yeah.
out, beat what's his name, Eddie Alvarez.
Alvarez, yeah.
You know, beat him. Had a couple fights with Nate Diaz. Then he obviously fought Khabib, and I think that was kind of the beginning of the end at that point. He came back in 2021, I think, or 2020, fought Donald Cerrone,
Cerrone, he looked great
and
there, yeah.
I mean he cleaned
Yeah.
him out in like a minute, and it was like okay, like maybe he's back, and then it's just like. I'm retired. I'm not retired. I'm retired. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, just bouncing back and
That's
forth.
it.
So like his story's already been told. He's probably never gonna fight in the UFC again. Why would you when you're worth however many millions, hundreds of millions?
Yeah,
of dollars?
literally, at
It's
that
like, it's like why would you at that point?
Dude, he had me for a second though. I really thought for the longest time when he fought Mayweather, I really thought he was gonna knock him out.
I think
was
that,
like
I think that,
so
I think that was
captivated by
staged. They both walked out of there with a bag.
Yeah,
and
they
Oh
had
yeah,
some-
they both made so much
yeah.
money, like
Yeah.
50 mil plus. But like I think with I really thought I was gonna fight Michael Chandler because it was only like they booked it and then only like 3 weeks before he pulled out, and I was
Yeah.
just like, this is so Conor McGregor.
I wanted to see that fight. But you know what? I'll tell you, like the whole thing with Chandler became cringy because then like even like after he started like losing some fights, he'd be like Conor McGregor. It's like
Khabib.
yeah, it's like, bro. At that point, like bro, you're done.
I
Like,
felt there was so much hype with Chandler, and I felt so bad. That knockout against Ferguson was so sick.
Oh, yeah.
but it was the only highlight to his career.
yeah, that was
Ever.
massive.
Oh no, he beat Dan Hooker too, I think.
Oh, he
and
beat
then,
Dan Hooker.
And then, dude, I think Dana White called him out for this because it was his first UFC fight. He beat
Yeah.
Dan Hooker and then did a backflip off the thing. And Dana White was like, "What are you doing, bro?" He's like, "You just won your first UFC fight and you're backflipping off like the cage." He's like,
Yeah.
"What
He
are
got
you
that shit
doing?"
from Eddie Alvarez. He
He's,
did that
he's like,
too.
serious, like, why are you doing this? But I think going back
that's
to
so
the conversation with Ilya, I think it's just too early to tell with him. Like, obviously, double champ now, whatever. I think it like honestly, it'll be interesting to see what happens with him
Right.
because like he's probably gonna fight Arman next. I mean, he
Yeah.
obviously like who knows what's gonna happen with Charles. Charles is obviously I think he's like 36, 37 now, so he's towards the end of his career. Arman is there.
Yep.
We'll see what happens with Islam and JDM fighting too. So like, because if Islam beats JDM,
Yep.
who's he gonna fight next? Because he doesn't want to fight
Right.
Bilal. That's the entire reason he's only going up to 175 now. So now it's like, okay, what does Ilya do? Because if Ilya clears out the lightweight, which is like, okay, who's really
He's
there?
gonna go up, yeah.
He's like, okay, Max Holloway, he already knocked him out at featherweight, so that's really who knows. Even after the last fight that he just had with Poirier, Arman, him, but really who else is in the division? Charles, no. Justin Gaethje wants to retire anyway. Dan Hooker, no. Patty, okay, fine, but Patty goes in there and I don't want to say he's gonna get knocked out clean, but like chances are you look at the way they've just been fighting and who knows? I mean, Patty may be that guy who just comes up and is like, yeah, I'm gonna joke around, whatever, and he upsets, Ilya. And
He's gonna be a
whatever.
franchise fighter.
Yeah, like he's gonna be somebody who has a fan base just like Poirier did, just like Holloway has.
Yeah,
still,
like Chandler, yeah.
Exactly. Like he's gonna have a fan base. He already does. Like people like him as a guy. He's very entertaining to watch. He has a personality. He's not boring. That was the thing with Demetrius Johnson. Like people say he was a goat, but he gets written off so much because he wasn't an entertaining fighter. He didn't
Well, to be
trash
fair,
talk.
Dana did not like him either.
But Dana didn't like him either because
Yeah.
but there was also nobody to fight. It's like Aspinall.
No.
That's why Dana
They
doesn't
almost
like
got rid of the division.
Right. It's like it's why
Are you
Aspinall.
kidding me?
I swear to God, they almost got rid of
Yeah.
Demetrius Johnson's division.
Yeah, they
It
almost
was
got
so
rid of
boring.
flyweight because it's almost what's going to happen at heavyweight too. Because it's like you have Aspinall. Who else is there?
Nobody's
for him to
else
fight?
there.
Nobody's there.
Yeah.
Like the
Nobody's
only
left.
card that anybody would have watched, which would have pulled probably record numbers, was Sean Jones, but he retired.
You're tired.
supposedly.
Yeah.
So
We got to see. I think that he's going to be back for that White House fight, or at least he's going to
I
try to
know.
get in that pool of contenders.
Yeah.
But listen, as we're wrapping up here, dude. Eric, I want to tell you, dude, you're awesome. You're such a well-spoken guy, dude, and I had a lot of fun with this episode. I'm sure, like similar to James and our other guests, you'll be back on at some point in time. But take a look at the camera and give one piece of advice that you can give people that are kind of at your point in life, or even like a bit younger, to kind of put them on some game of what they should be doing to level up with where their head should kind of be at.
Yeah, so I think honestly, like I could literally create like a roadmap. Not I want to say roadmap, but like kind of a good idea to get in people's heads. So if you're, anywhere between honestly 14, 15 years old and like 25, and there's a lot of people that are my age who are like, yeah, I work a minimum wage job, whatever, and I don't know what I want to do in my life. There's a lot of young guys who are like, yeah, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. It's like, okay, cool. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. If you don't want to do that, you got to work. That's number one. Is like you have to be willing to work, because if you're not willing to work, you're not going to get anywhere. So that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two is, if that's the case, here's what you got to do. You're working your minimum wage job, great. You have a little bit of money coming in. If you're, under 20, you probably still live at home. If you're older than that, if you're in college, you probably still live at home. Great. Even if you're older than that and you live at home, fantastic. Because guess what that means? You have zero bills, or very low bills, right? You have car insurance, whatever. Fine. You don't have rent, right? You don't have bills. So it's like, at that point, you can bank as much money as possible every month. Like you can clear 2K every month and just be like, yeah, I'm clearing 2K, and just, put it into a bank account, and cool. All right. So you're making all that money. Now what you want to do, anybody who's watched Alex Ramosi, even Iman Ghazi, like they'll tell you the same thing. Take that money and put it into something that is going to teach you a skill that you can make money off of. Right. So whether that be sales, right? Because Tony, I know you're in sales, I am too. So sales is obviously huge, but that's not even just like, that's one thing, right? Like I got started not in sales, but in video editing, and that's how I made my first dollar online. Yeah. So even if it's just buying Adobe Premiere Pro, which costs, whatever is $20 a month, right? Put that 2K that you're making into Premiere Pro. Put it into videos. I mean, you don't really need videos, but just take the time out of your day to learn how to do something that other people don't know how to do. All right, the best video editors in the space, guess how much they're making? They're making $200-300K a year, right? They work for somebody else, sure, but they make lawyer money, and they don't have to go through a degree. They don't have to go through, all that, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, being a video editor is very independent. So it's like, you can kind of control what you do, how you work, when you work, all that, whatever. So like, that's one avenue. And there's only so many, places out there for people like that. But find something you're passionate about, even if it's like, say woodworking, right? And I say this because I used to woodwork years back. Right. Even if it's that, like take that 2K and just get better at it. Because even if it's woodworking, dude, you can build a company off that. Like you can teach other people how to do it, create a new, type of whatever, and sell it. And teach other people how to do it, bring them on your team, and sell it to people. And that's all it is. And I mean, that's the world that we live in now. It's never been easier to make money before, but at the same time, like, because it's never been easier, there's also so many people where I just don't think they realize how easy it is, and it's also so easy to get distracted. So like, we had this conversation sort of already, like you have all of these ways to make money, ads, all this whatever, but it's also very easy to get distracted. You can waste your whole day on TikTok and not even realize. So it's like, and it's why I don't have TikTok on my phone, but it's like, there's so many ways to get distracted, but there's also so many ways to become successful. Right. And so when, people talk about being above average, talk about being, the best of the best, whatever, it's like, okay, well, the average is here. And if the, below average is really horrible, they're wasting their whole day on, if average right now is wasting your whole day on TikTok, dude, imagine if you just do like 10% more than that every day.
10% return. You're
like
what is it?
Day over day for an entire year, dude, you'll be like light years ahead of somebody else. Like even if, the only difference is, okay, you go to the gym and you talk to 5 new people a day. Dude, like just that alone will get you way further than somebody who just spends their whole day on TikTok, doesn't go to the gym, whatever. Doesn't try, right? Like this is honestly the thing is like, I only just started making money in the last, I would say probably 6 to 12 months, right? Like before that, I wasn't really making money, but there were 2 to 3 years in that same phase where like I wasn't making money, but I just kept trying. That's it. And that's all it is. So, work that minimum wage job, make the money. It's gonna suck, but I tell people like you have to understand working a minimum wage job and how much it sucks, because it's motivation to not stay there.
Right.
Because if you're there and you work in a crappy job, great. That's motivation to do better, and that's what's gonna, for a lot of people, propel them to get to better things their family has never seen before, things they never could have imagined, and because they know that if they stay content with what they're doing, they're going to get nowhere. Right. And that's the majority of people now. I mean, they're just, I won't say mindless, but
they are. That's a great word for it.
Like they're just going their day to day. They don't care. There's no improvement. There's no, let me build something. Let me actually, make change happen in the world. It's just like, oh, who cares? Right? It's just, who cares? So essentially, it's very easy to be above average. I just think, work that minimum wage job, realize it sucks, take that money, get a skill set with it.
Get better 1% every day.
Yeah, get better 1% every day, and just try, and that's all it is. And then over time, that compounds, and in 5 years' time, you'll be somewhere you couldn't even
Light years away,
imagine.
just totally
Yeah.
different person.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we appreciate you rocking with us for episode 30. Eric, you've been an absolute
30?
pleasure. We're at episode 30, dude. We're gonna throw all his handles and socials down in the description section if you guys do want to connect with him, his media company. And boys, Tone, as always, you want to add anything to the audience, bro?
No, other than that, man, Eric, always a pleasure, my friend.
Oh, I appreciate you guys
look
having me
forward
on.
Continue partnering with each other.
Of course, man.
Yeah, for sure.